Supermarkets are rapidly becoming a fantastic place to find good quality whiskey at a very affordable price. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome back, Dram Fam, to the Whisky Diary. So in the whiskey world, there is a huge spectrum of pricing when it comes to our favourite drink. And it's very important that there are whiskies distributed across that spectrum. Not everyone is interested in a £32,000 bottle that they can put on their shelf and admire on the daily. A lot of us just like to drink bloody good quality whiskey for a low price, and it's through that I discovered this, the Loch Lomond Peated single grain whiskey. So we're going to whip through the stats on this whiskey super quick, and then we'll go through what's really interesting about this whiskey. This is a no age statement whiskey that is distilled and bottled by the Loch Lomond distillery. They're based just on the southern shore of Loch Lomond in Palate. This is bottled at 46% ABV. It is unchill filtered. It is all natural colour. It is made with malted barley. It does say single grain, but we'll get to that in a minute. It is made with 100% malted barley that is peated to 50 parts per million. It is a vatting. It has been matured in both refill American oak and first fill American oak casks. It is a 70 centilitre bottle, and you can get this directly from their website for £30. You can get it from Master of Malt for around £28, but I have seen this whiskey down as low as £17. It is quite often found in supermarkets. My most local supermarket is Morrison's. That is where I found it. I believe I paid £22 for it. I actually one day was driving up, because we live in Glasgow, we don't live far from Loch Lomond, and it's a beautiful place to go. So we were driving up there, and I remembered the Loch Lomond distillery. I want to go there. I turned up there, there's not a lot to look at. My understanding is Loch Lomond distillery is primarily more of a alcohol factory than it is a beautiful old world distillery where you can go and look around their beautiful copper pot stills. They do have very interesting still configuration. As I say, they are an alcohol factory for the most part. I believe they've got like 3 different setups where they've got copper pot stills with swan necks and coffee stills. But anyway, that's my point about this whiskey. It is called a single grain whiskey, even though it is made with malted barley. The Scotch Whisky Association rules dictate it must be made of 100% malted barley but distilled in a pot still. That looks like that. Because this was made in a coffee still, which looks like that, it cannot legally be called a single malt whiskey. A pot still is a batch distillation. You fill it up, you distill all the stuff off, you empty it, you clean it out, and then you put loads more stuff in and you go again. With a coffee still, it's a continuous distillation. You pump wash in at the top, it comes down, it gets to the bottom, and then it kind of comes out the other side, and it's a continuous distillation. You never have to, theoretically, you never have to stop it and fill it back up again. Therefore, it is called a single grain despite being made with 100% malted barley. You could argue here you're going to be looking at notes which are similar to a malt whiskey than you would a grain whiskey. Which leads me on nicely to tasting. On the nose, immediately super light, bright, sweet and peat. A lot of people would describe this whiskey as sweet and peat, and that is for good reason. That's exactly what you get. It's medicinal, but it's not iodine. Well, kind of is iodine medicinal. It's more like plasters more than it's like a disinfectant kind of medicinal. Wonderful notes of lemon, fruitiness, summer berries, and a really nice vanilla-y sweet spiciness. Absolutely wonderful. Sweet berries, sweet lemon notes, but really nice medicinal smokiness. It's not like aggressively peaty. You can tell it's a peated whiskey, but it's not like your Ardbegs are definitely nowhere near your Lafroigs. Kind of sit this a little bit more towards the kind of unpeated notes that you may get onto the palate. A really light, delicious texture. Again, that sweet and peat is there. It's lemony, it's got that sweetness, that vanilla really comes through as well. Those berry notes kind of sit alongside some green apple, like a little bit of a tart, sour kind of thing going on with it as well. But alongside that is peat. It's wonderfully sweet and smoky. It's a slightly medicinal peat. It's slightly barbecuey kind of peat. It's a slightly wood smoky kind of peat. It's like, to my palate, it's right in the middle. I would describe it really as like a sweet woody smoke, because that's exactly what it is. It's definitely smoky, but those vanilla notes, I guess that's the first fill bourbons really leaning into those sweet vanilla notes as well, reinforcing that smoke, and then all those like berry and lemon notes, which this is a fairly young spirit, as is my understanding. I don't think it's especially old. All of that together leads you down this really interesting kind of evolution where you've got beautiful rich sweetness, really nice wood notes, but then a fresh spiritiness that goes with it. But it's offset so well by the peat, it's not offensive. Finish wise, to my palate, it's immediately more like a cereal. No, I'm left with quite a malted barley kind of notes left behind that barley sugar, but the lemoniness sticks around with it. It's like a floral lemon flavour. Lemon bonbons almost, like almost artificial, kind of artificially floral lemon flavour. Underpinning all of that is a smokiness, but by now it's turned into almost the kind of finish you'd expect from a slightly briny, sea salty, more coastal kind of peat, but only on the finish. It's not really like that anywhere else throughout my enjoyment of this whiskey. It's only on the tail end do I get a slightly drying saltiness. Generally, to me, a very, very moorish whiskey. The more I go back to it, the sweeter it gets. I'm getting a lot more barley and barley sugar notes all the way through, but it maintains a very, very consistent palate and a very consistent flavour profile throughout. So what do I think of this? Honestly, the first thing that goes through my head is, how is this 20 quid? Like, how can you get this for between £17 and £23? I've had whiskies that cost a lot more than this that taste a hell of a lot worse. This delivers such a fantastic experience for a whiskey. This is my second bottle of this. It's the kind of thing where if I see it in the supermarket, it's less than £23, I'm buying it. Even if I've got 3 unopened on the shelf, I'm buying it. And honestly, I think you should too. If you're someone that's into peaty whiskey and you like your Ardbegs and your Kalilas and your Kilhomans, you're going to get on with this just fine. It might be a little bit sweeter to your palate, but it's 20 quid and it's going to give you the peat that you would be looking for. If you're someone that's into generally sweeter whiskies and is maybe looking for a way to find your peaty gateway that's going to get you into those big peaty smoky whiskies, this could be it. But above all, it's £20. I know that's not nothing, but you're going to be hard pressed to find whiskies for that £20 to £25 mark that are comparable to single malts, let alone be as good at, if not better than. In summary, it's great. Get it. But anyway, that's enough from me. Thank you all very much for watching. If you've liked this video, please do drop a like down below, and if you'd like to support the channel, please do consider subscribing. Let me know down in the comments if you've tried this and what you think of it. I'd be very I know quite a lot of you have had this before, and I know quite a lot of you rate it very highly. So if you think that you're going to pick up a bottle of this having seen this video, let me know. And on that note, Slàinte mhath.